Thank you for joining us on today's presentation covering the Cisco Configuration Wizard. This allows us to easily add expanded capabilities to the existing Touch10 driven environments. This tool enables our clients to create their own unique configuration to best fit their environment while providing all the tools needed to successfully deploy these applications. Adding up to an additional 28 inputs, you can easily expand the number of sources available on your Cisco codec while providing video extension for all room sizes. The Lightware device integrates seamlessly within your ecosystem, utilizing the familiarity of the Cisco Touch10, enabling advanced room control with a simple button press. The Cisco Room Configuration Wizard can be found on our website, lightware.com, under the Support drop-down menu. There's no login or registration required to access the online configuration wizard. Once you've selected the online configuration wizard, you'll be immediately presented with the list of compatible Cisco devices. If you have any questions about which device is supported, click on the compatibility chart and you'll be presented with the latest firmware release version required on the Cisco device, as well as the list of all supported Lightware devices. Additional information can be found on the device's capabilities under the feature set menu here below. Once I've selected my compatible Cisco device, I'm then presented with a list of compatible Lightware devices. Note that your list may change based upon which Cisco device you have selected, as we only present compatible Lightware devices. This will prevent you from selecting an incompatible device, resulting in a system that does not function. For my scenario, I want to select the MMX 4x2 HT200, which has an HD-base-T input on input number 1, which will give me additional inputs available on my Lightware device. If the Lightware device I have selected supports login, I will then be presented with the Cisco Codec Configuration Login menu. For my scenario, login is not required, so I will select No. Next, I'm presented with the properties for input number 1, which is an HD-base-T input. Here I have a complete list of Lightware devices that will function on this input. Again, we only present the devices that are compatible, preventing you from creating a system that will not function out of the box. I can enable a simplified HDMI TPS TX97, which is a simple format converter, which only gives me one input. Or in my scenario, I can add up to 4 selectable inputs on my Touch10 on the one input by adding the UMX TPS TX140. Once I've selected the UMX TPS TX140, I'm then presented with my naming for the sources. These sources will appear on the Touch10, and in scenarios where I don't want to use specific sources such as the VGA input, I can simply hit the Set option and it will skip that. If you hit the Set option without putting in any data under the text menu right here, this will not generate a button for that input. I do want to utilize the HDMI and DisplayPort inputs on the UMX TPS TX140, so I'll simply type in the data, hitting Set each time I've completed that naming. For the DVI connector on the device, which does support HDMI signals, I'm going to go ahead and hit Set twice to not apply any buttons to the Touch10. We have completed the naming process for the UMX TPS TX140. Next, we will complete the naming process for the 3 remaining HDMI inputs on the MMX 4x2 HT200. In our scenario, we want to add a media player such as an Apple TV, as well as an additional room PC that is mounted behind our display. We will use the last input on the MMX 4x2 to create a loopback from the Cisco codec, allowing us to route sources directly to the display. This is useful for scenarios where the end user wants to conduct a local in-room meeting without any video conferencing involved. To enable this, simply hit Set without applying any naming properties here. The online configuration tool will walk you through each step in the process. Here I can assign a display to the first HDMI output on the MMX 4x2 or I can choose to route this output to the Cisco WebEx RoomKit's first input. Since I have a secondary output on the MMX 4x2, I can connect a display directly to this. Once we've completed the naming process for all I/O on the MMX 4x2, we will then navigate to the Cisco codec. In our scenario, we want to route output number 1 from the codec directly to a display. Output number 2 from the Cisco codec will be utilized as the loopback for input number 4 on the MMX 4x2 HT200. Once we've completed the I/O naming process, we can scroll down to see a finalized wiring diagram, which will show all connections that are required for our configuration file. There is no need to take a screenshot of this diagram, as this will be automatically generated in the installation guide on the final download page. The next step is to add room control functionality for our environment. Here is where we can select display on-off control, projector control, screen shades, as well as additional control for media, players, and set-top boxes. Mic mute functionality and DSP functionality can be added here as well. A typical room scenario involves display on-off control. In my scenario, I want to control the left display, which I've identified as a LG signage UH5C. Once I've selected a display in my list, I will then be presented with its control features. In this scenario, this display can be controlled over Ethernet. Once I've selected Ethernet, I will then be presented with the IP address information. Note that I'm not required to enter any other data other than the IP address, as the Lightware online configuration tool has all the necessary information such as port and control commands already built in. I do have an additional display that's connected directly from the Cisco codec, so I'm going to select that now by hitting display on off and then select my right display, LG, and then I'm presented with options such as CEC control since it's connected directly to the Lightware device. I select CEC control followed by on-off standby, and then I've completed the process to control the secondary display. Since our configuration features an Apple TV, we can add additional remote control from the Touch10 under the Media Player Set-Top Box option. Once we've completed the configuration process, we will click on the Go to Download page. This will present us with the option to name the system or room that will be assigned to this configuration file. We can make additional notes that will be applied to our installation guide that is available on the next screen. The final step is to download the installation guide, configuration file, and backup file. The installation guide will include the diagram below indicating how to connect all devices, the notes we made on the previous screen, as well as the step-by-step process to complete your configuration. Saving the backup file will allow us to use this online configuration tool at a later date to make small or major edits to the configuration file. Upon opening the installation guide, you will be presented with the system application diagram. The system application diagram is a visual guide on how to connect all devices in your environment. The following pages contain the table of contents, including notes and equipment lists. You will also find the information on how to connect your Lightware device to your Cisco codec, as well as information on your displays and sources. We have even included all information required to configure the Cisco codec to communicate with the Lightware device. The release note information can be viewed by opening up the Cisco configuration file with Notepad or text editor. It is important that you do not modify any information in the Cisco Room configuration file, as it may result in the system not functioning correctly. The final step in the process is to import the configuration file to the Lightware device using the Lightware device controller software, which can be found on our website, lightware.com. It is important that you have followed all instructions provided in the installation guide, including connecting the Lightware device to the Cisco codec and configuring the Cisco's serial port settings to match what is shown in your installation guide. To connect to the Lightware device, simply highlight the device in the All Devices section below. Devices will be automatically discovered using the Bonjour protocol. Once you have connected to the Lightware device, navigate to the Control tab above, followed by the Events tab. Click on Import, then select the configuration file. Based on the size of your configuration file, the import process can take up to 5 minutes to complete. Once you have completed the import process, you will get the notification on Lightware Device Controller that all events have been imported. The Touch10 will indicate the current import status, as well as a completion notification. In less than 10 minutes, we have added advanced control functionality to our Cisco Touch10 driven rooms. President Jason Tirado will demonstrate the abilities of the Cisco Room Configuration Wizard.
Collaboration rooms are being built to connect people within buildings, across campuses, and around the world. Cisco is the expert in bringing people together between rooms, and Lightware is the expert at connecting people within rooms. Hi, I'm Jason Tirado from Lightware. I want to show you how we can use our Cisco expansion kits to extend signals, expand the number of sources and displays in a room, and add environmental controls to the Touch10 from Cisco. We've created a series of simple-to-use, configurable USB accessories for the WebEx endpoints. Using Lightware hardware and our online configurator, users can simply take control of their environments and add power to the Touch10. Let me show you how it works. Here, we've added direct device control buttons onto the Touch10, and here, we've added the ability to share additional sources using Lightware and Cisco together. If you want to find out more, please visit us at lightware.com.